Okay, so this is it. This is the one. I'll kind of introduce myself, I guess, and bite the bullet and maybe come up with something I can actually put on the tubes. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna have to get some gas anyway. So this is gonna be my introduction. Channel's named Super Balls. I'll probably stick with that before I start naming myself. If you've actually stumbled across my channel, you'll see it has a little bit of pretty niche items. Some pinball videos and fireworks are what I do the most. I got a couple soccer games, Toronto Football Club, TFC. One almost in its entirety, which was pretty cool considering I had to shoot in 5-minute increments because of the 4K. Of course, I shot at 2x digital zoom, which ruined it. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to start this whole Motovlogging thing. So kind of have a bit of a mission statement, I guess, is, you know, I mean, really, this isn't going to be a job for me. I don't want it to be a job. It's just something I'm going to do for fun. Just kind of want to hang out, share my ideas on things. I'll probably have some typical topics to start, because I gotta tell you, getting used to talking to the inside of a helmet is fucking weird. You know, really self-conscious, and you're always thinking, you know, I'm talking to the inside of a helmet. Sometimes yelling at the inside of a helmet. One thing I do want to avoid is like motovlog drama. I don't really get that. It's like there's always these weird feuds, and I don't know. I don't really like that. I'm not gonna drop names or anything. A couple of the vloggers I really like are guilty of it. So you know. Anyway, I've been riding for 5 or 6 years now. I can't really remember. I started late. I started at like 32 or 33. 37. Well, I'm turning 37 now, or 5. Yeah, something like that. 5 years. Started on an 80cc 2-stroke scooter, an old Honda scooter, Honda Aero. It was fun as hell, man. I love that thing. It was like my little land Sea-Doo. Moved up to a 750 Magna, 1984, which sparked my love for the V4 engine. Thank you, Honda. And that's when I moved up to the, well, that's when I ended up moving after this, recently this year, to this 1999 VFR 800. Now, I know this camera doesn't do too well at night. I don't know if you can see the mileage on this thing. This thing, I bought it with 117,000 kilometers on it. I've put 2,000 on it. I've had it for a month. Now, in all fairness, I did have to drive down from Toronto, so that was an instant 400K. But I mean, I commute, I go back and forth to work every day on this. My wife gets the car. We were thinking of having her learn to ride this summer, but we're having a young'un, so I don't want her learning to ride while pregnant. That's just an unnecessary risk. You know, there's just too much that can happen when you're learning to ride. Today I think I'm just going to do a typical topic. Like I said, this is a warm-up, a getting used to thing, and I just wanted to talk about, I think everyone talks about it, first bikes. This is such a contentious topic. I read about it. I'm part of Our Motorcycles. I tend to be kind of, I don't know, maybe controversial. I don't think I'm famous or anything, but I get upvoted like crazy, or I get downloaded into oblivion over just things that I kind of hold dear to. But whatever, man. It's Reddit. Who cares? Yellow lights. But I did kind of want to tackle the idea of first bikes. I should warn you, I don't really script the stuff or anything, So I'm kind of all over the place, and I will go off topic all the time. You know, there's a lot of people, and I think these vlogs, they kind of appeal to brand new riders or people who are just getting their license or looking into motorcycling, and that's great. I mean, I remember when I was I checked out these motovlogs when I was, you know, before I got licensed, and I went on forums, and I mean, I was there, man. I had to figure out what the hell do I want to ride? What am I going to get? Can I afford it? Can I, you know, I remember one of the first things, being a father and, you know, having responsibilities to other people is, you know, is motorcycling too dangerous? And I ended up finding a website, msgroup.org, and, you know, it has a lot of strategies. MS doesn't stand for motorcycle safety, it stands for Master Strategy Group, which is pretty cool. Got a bug on my visor, shit. You know, and it has safety tips, and I just read through. I think I spent months reading through that, and some of them are really long. Sometimes I'd not do my work, I'd be reading them. You know, I spent a lot of time at these sites, you know, and looking for the bikes, and I think I registered for the Kawasaki Ninja 300 for them, because that was a really good candidate for my first bike, or my second bike. My first bike was that scooter, and I got licensed on that thing, and I had a blast getting my license, the test, just because I'm full throttle. Like they say, it's more fun to ride a slow bike fast than it is to ride a fast bike slow. I can kind of vouch for that, because I was riding the you know, the M1 Ontario M1 exit test, or the, you know, the test that you were due to get your M2 here. And you do the cone weave, and you do the slow speed thing, and the you know, the emergency stop, and you have to walk the bike through a figure eight. And I gotta tell you, like, as a brand new rider, it's way easier when your wheelbase is like 6 feet. And just ringing that thing like I was on a jet ski, it was so much fun. I mean, everybody else there is like, why are you having fun doing this? People are stressed out riding their big Harleys, and I mean, not everybody riding a big Harley, but you know, some of them were just you know, that subgroup of Harley riders that people seem to disdain a lot. Oh man, there's the fountain. That orange over top of that vehicle is the Peace Fountain. I love when it's all lit up, man. I'm gonna try. I keep trying to ride by. Oh, that changed colors. I'm gonna try and look at it without killing myself. Might be easier though. I had a hard time before because mounting this camera was a pain in the ass. There's a programmable floating fountain that they just put out about a week ago. It's old, but they just put it out in the summer. Anyway, so I got my M2, and after that I started having some problems with the scooter, and it's really hard to find parts for it. Of course, I had the year that they didn't really sell well, and they changed the model, and I mean, spare parts are hard to find. So of course I get a 84 Honda Magna, and I rode. I was disappointed, man. I really wanted that 300 Ninja. I wanted a small bike. I was, you know, scared to have I was actually afraid to have a big bike. I didn't, you know, you read everywhere, you start on a small displacement bike. And that's not unwise. That's not an unwise decision. You know, it's light, manageable, not threatening. Especially a lot of the new ones have slipper clutches. ABS is becoming more standard. And 300 seems to be becoming the norm, right? CBR went up to 300 cc's. The Ninja went from 250 to 300 first. Started a whole new segment, and that's awesome. Had my heart set on it. Didn't get one. Got this 1984 Honda Magna. Talked the guy down to I mean, he gave it. He didn't have to. He pretty well gave it to me for $800. Had to change a few bulbs for safety. The bike had straight pipes. I've got another video actually before I changed the exhaust on it. It was loud, man. It was loud, and it's up here. But you know, I was nervous. The bike was, especially coming up from the scooter, the bike was so big and heavy feeling and intimidating, and it just felt so huge. You know, so, and of course I had these old Dunlop qualifiers on it that needed to be changed. So And the first thing I'd never ridden a motorcycle before. I'd ridden a scooter, so I mean technically, but I mean what we think of motorcycles, you know, with the clutch on the left and the brakes and the foot brake and the shifter. You know, it was my first time, and I've got the 750cc V4, loud as hell, and I got to ride it down a gravel alleyway. The first 300 feet of riding down gravel alleyway, shitting bricks. I pulled out on the street and I managed to get it. I was pulling on a main street. My grandmother was following me. And I stalled this thing out like 5 times trying to get it on the main thoroughfare, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna die on my way home. I'm not gonna make it. So I take it on the street that I'm on now, and ride it down here because there's, you know, the fewest lights and everybody's going slow. So I get it home. And my car, I was taking my car off the road. I needed major suspension work, so I didn't have a choice. I was committed to learning how to ride this motorcycle, and I had to ride it every day. So, you know, I got comfortable with it pretty quickly. For 3 weeks, with time constraints, it took me to do my all the suspension work I needed and wheel bearings and all that stuff on my car. So. I didn't really have a choice, but I mean I did it, and it was on a, you know, big 750cc bike. Now is it wise? No, probably not. Now let's understand, I was 32, 33 years old at this time, so my 20-year-old death wish against myself had you know, long gone by the wayside, and I was just naturally more careful, and you know, I have a daughter, and you know, when you get older, you generally will stop taking so many risks. Generally, you know, had I been 20, I probably would have been a little more reckless on it, and maybe gotten myself a little, you know, more hurt. Maybe, you know. The thing you have to remember is, if you're not a safe rider, no bike's going to be safe. A 300cc Ninja can go fast enough to kill you. Of course, you know, a GSXR 600 can definitely go fast enough to kill you, and it will get there fast. You don't have to try quite so hard. On a 300, you have to try a little harder. You know, even on my Magna, you know, it was controllable. I remember asking, I got sent to the V4 muscle bike forums, and I was on msgroup.org, their forum, and I was asking, like, I'm getting this bike, is it too big? Am I going to go over a bump or something? This shows how little I knew about bikes at the time. You know, brand freaking new. You know, am I going to go over a bump and, like, crack the throttle by accident and kill myself? And one of the guys, I mean, not mean, but, you know, I could definitely tell he was chuckling when I mean, there was just a way he presented the his post, but I knew he was laughing. He was having a good time at my expense, but good-naturedly, and he said, no, it doesn't work that way. I mean, you're not just going to accidentally crank your throttle, kill yourself. You know, so this Magna was fast. I mean, it was good. I could, you know, it wasn't long before I was, you know, pulling it like crazy and stuff. You know, but a 300cc bike is going to be dangerous if you ride dangerously. And, you know, a 600cc bike, it's going to be dangerous faster. So, you know, my attitude as far as what a first bike should be, I strongly recommend a smaller CC bike. You know, like I said, they're light, they're not intimidating. Light is huge, you know. You stop at a light and the bike starts to tip, you're not going to panic. You know, a lot of people will say, you know, you're going to drop your first bike, you will drop your first bike. Now, that's bullshit. I mean, you're very likely to. You're most likely to at this point. You know, when you're brand new, you're you know, at the highest risk to do it. You're getting a pant leg caught on a peg, and when you're at a stop, or, you know, anything like that, it's you know, definitely a risk. We're all human, we make mistakes, And I mean, but if you're very careful, you probably won't drop your bike. But I mean, you know, like if the bike stalls on you and lurches off to the side, I mean, there's so many ways you can drop the bike. You forget your kickstand in the driveway, you know, there's so many ways to actually do it. I mean, I haven't dropped any of my bikes, any of my three. I haven't done it, and I'm thankful, you know, but I've been very careful. I've almost dropped it a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, I've been close, but you know, one time I think I threw my back out. I muscled the fucking bike back up. I was like, nope, you're not falling, you know. So I was very, very, very likely a drop there. But, you know, didn't happen. Now, I'm not saying I'll never drop a bike. I almost dropped this bike today. Just going to get some ginger ale for my wife, and I put the side stand down at a gas station, and the parking lot sloped a little bit, you know, downward towards the side stand. I don't know if I actually almost dropped it. It sure felt like I was going to, though, just because it leaned quite a bit more than I was expecting, quite a bit more than I was used to it leaning, right? Like, here we park on the right, and the road crowns, you know, inwards, so you know, usually a bike parked near the curb will stand a bit straighter up than if I mean, if you're on a one-way street and parking's on the left side, the bike will lean a bit more. But I mean, I definitely recommend buying. I don't recommend buying a new bike. You know, just because the risk of dropping it is very real. I just think people try and sound smarter than what they are, and they say, you will, it's guaranteed. It's just likely, very likely, but not guaranteed, man. If you're careful, you won't drop your bike. If you stay within your limits, you're not going to drop your bike. Once you go out of your limits, though, that's it, man. You're probably going to go down. Hopefully it's not at speed. So yeah, no, definitely buy used. I mean, like I said, I'm including this bike. If I take the cost of the luggage, you know, for 5 years, I'm in $2,600 for motorcycles. That's 3 bikes. I paid $200 for my scooter. I usually go for about $800 to $1,000, right? Even the old pieces of, I don't want to call it a piece of junk. It's a good scooter. My Magna cost me $800, and this bike cost me $3,000 with full set of Givy luggage. You know, so take the $1,400 that the rack and the luggage, you know, good sized luggage would cost, and you know, take that away. I only paid like $1,500 for this bike, and like I said, high mileage, 119,000 kilometers now. I'm, you know, but it's a Honda V4, man. These things will last forever. So this is my 3rd bike. I plan on having a few more. I'm planning on getting a Grom and a Ninja 300. And one day I'll own a Harley. One day I'll own a V-Strom. I want lots of bikes. I'll never get rid of this bike, though. I'll probably just buy another bike cheap and then, you know, play with it and then sell it and buy another used bike. If I ever buy another a new bike, it's probably going to be a new VFR. If I can get one. But you know what? Like I totally did it wrong as far as, you know, what anyone else would say. They, you know, they say get a small bike, and I didn't. I got a mid-size, you know, or a leader bike. You know, I'm not going to recommend doing that. But you know what? As a new rider, if it's trivial holding the weight up, if you can buy a Hayabusa and survive it, and probably even thrive, but you know, that bike will knock you on your ass if you're not careful. It's not forgiving. It's you know, if you crank the throttle too much, or you're playing around in first gear in a turn, and just, you know, you're gonna go over. That bike it'll fuck you up really good. But I mean, if you're really, really careful, you can learn and grow into it. I don't know what the statistics are for big bikes and survivability for new riders. You know, but I'd imagine that it's a lot better for smaller bikes. You know, more docile bikes. The Magna was great. It was I mean, apparently the Hayabusa is quite docile too until you crack it open. You know, and then it. I mean, it's willing. That's what I like about this bike, is the wheeling. I like that. You know, it's not it's not a slouch, but it's docile. I mean, I can cruise around gently. I can go slow. I think that's a big misconception, man. Everyone's like, "Oh, the bike's gonna kill you. It's fast. It's fast. It's fast." It's like, dude, these things don't do 0 to 100 instantly. I can do 4 kilometers an hour on the thing if I want to. So, yeah, what should a first bike be? Really, what do you think you can handle? I personally recommend small, I hear a lot about the SV650 and the 650, you know, twins, and apparently they're really good learning bikes. I wouldn't know. I haven't ridden one. I should, you know, before I say anything. I definitely should, and I intend to. You know, I intend on burning through as many bikes as I can in the next, you know, unfortunately I started late and I'm just trying to make up for lost time, you know, and I'm a rider. I don't really baby my bikes. I put mileage on them. I mean, same thing with my cars though. I mean, I'm always on the move. I'm always going. I'm my wife's family all live in a city 4 hours away from here, so you know, we go. But that's I don't know. That's trying to think of what else I might be able to say about it. A 300cc bike can be dangerous if you make it dangerous. So, you know, it really is up to the rider. But it's easier to make a mistake on, you know, the faster bikes. It's just easier to make those mistakes. I had a coworker, an ex-coworker, at my last job. I mean, he started on a GSXR 600, and he did stupid shit on it. I don't even think he had a license. I mean, this guy was like a walking statistic, but I mean, he ended up getting pulled over, lost the bike, but he didn't die. His insurance was insane. I remember him being jealous of my insurance at a time when I was jealous of everybody else's insurance, and I'm like, well, I don't feel so bad anymore. What a guy. He was a good guy. That was so much fun. So I'm going to go downtown. I'm going to talk to my helmet downtown and see how many people think I'm an absolute moron. That's the other thing, right? You just wonder who can hear you. If they're going to look at you. I really hope I got this camera set up too. You know, I'm going to try and do as little editing as possible, but I think I repeat myself a lot. It's whatever. You know, maybe I'll start editing a little more. I gotta tie videos, clips together and all that stuff, and I don't know. Maybe I'll make funny pictures, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as the video style. I just want to ride, man. Just want to ride. I see him checking that shit out. Yeah. Wasn't sure if I was going to drop any names or anything, but one of the main motovloggers that I started watching was Cycle Cruiser. I gotta say, he annoyed the fuck out of me the first couple videos, but I kind of like his mission statement, man. He's all about getting new people riding, and you know, I think that's probably one of the best things that us as motovloggers can actually do, is, you know, try and encourage people to ride. The more bikes there are on the road, the more awareness there is. The more people understand riding, and you know, the more people are going to watch out for bikers, and the more people who get into this hobby with a safety mindset, the better as well. You know, we don't want to be considered hooligans, because that kind of sucks. You know, when we're looked down upon, or people are just naturally angry seeing us for whatever reason, because they assume we're gonna, you know, do a wheelie over their children or something. Like, not all of us want to jump through fucking flaming hoops. So yeah, that's my big introduction, and yeah, I'm hoping to be able to come up with some more unique topics as I you know, grow into this. But like I said, I'm going to tackle some easy topics. It's fucking Wednesday, man. People are out drinking. Like it's the weekend. Turn my blinker off. The downtown life. Downtown. I might sing sometimes, and I apologize for that. Maybe, I don't know. Shouldn't apologize for it. It's fucking fun, man. These things are supposed to be fun. I can ramble, I promise that. Oh, there's some bikers. Oops. Haha. Hit my kill switch. Hit my kills. That guy looked at me like, what the fuck? I love riding. I love it. This shit's the bomb. Oh, look at that Mustang. That's a beautiful, beautiful car, man. That thing's fucking gorgeous. This is probably where I'm going to trail off and be, what the guy's doing his spins? What's this guy doing? Is he trying to go somewhere? What the fuck's this guy doing? Is he trying? He's just spinning around in the intersection. I don't even know what to make of that. I don't even know if I was supposed to go help him or whatnot. We're gonna stop in at work and go visit a buddy of mine that checked out some of my other footage while I was fighting with my camera mount. And that was fun. Started off with like side sticky mounts. The first one was crooked, so all my shit was tilted. And then I put another one on, that was still crooked. So all my shit was tilted and a little less though. The problem was I couldn't get the camera pointing up enough, so I had a whole bunch of like my windscreen and like you can see like probably up to where that car is ahead of me. It was like I was looking down the whole time. So I ordered a whole bunch of like accessories and stuff. And I got this fucking strap that I think it's supposed to be a wrist strap, and it's just around my chin bar, and it's fucking great. It just stays. It's awesome. I've got this T-shaped stereo mic that I talk into, and the wind noise is generally pretty good. I had to make some adjustments, I think, to get it more seated in the chin bar because it was up towards the visor a little bit. And of course, the strap holds the visor open a little, and I usually have my visor open a little because it fogs up, and you know, I like to have it open a crack because the vents. I got a is a HJC CL16, which was known for being like really shitty as far as vents go, but it's Snell certified. My wife's got a CL17, which is better for ventilation. I'm probably going to upgrade to that one, which means moving all this stuff over. So of course I got an intercom on the helmet, and I've got the microphone and all the wires under the chin pads and the helmet mount and all this stuff, and it's quite a feat of engineering getting this stuff in there. Everyone's in a rush. Everyone's in a rush. You know, yeah, no matter what your first bike is, back to that topic, no matter what your first bike is, man, if you ride around in a rush, you're going to probably hurt yourself. If you start pulling wheelies on the public streets, you're probably going to hurt yourself. You know, you hear a lot of people say, take it to the track, and it's true, man. Take the shit to the track. Just go to the fucking track. And pay for it. I mean, save yourself some insurance money. Woo! You know, if you're gonna do stupid shit like that, fucking pick your spots. I mean, there's no intersections here. I had fucking open road. I don't want to get pinched at 40 over, but You know, fuck. Pick your spots. Take a little pull and then slow the fuck down. The one thing I learned about, you know, from roller coasters is the human body doesn't feel speed. It feels acceleration and deceleration, which is really just negative acceleration. Lateral acceleration, your turns. Then slow down, then speed up again, then slow down again, then speed up again. I remember one time I pulled up to a light and it was red, and there was, you know, looked kind of like an old guard biker. And we nodded, and, you know, he said, "I hate red lights." And I said, "Why?" I said, "Why? Don't think of it as a red light. Think of it as an acceleration opportunity." And he nodded, and we, so let's say we both rode away from the light in a spirited fashion. It was good fun though, right? I'm all about safety, but sometimes you gotta do some stupid shit. You gotta calculate, man. You gotta calculate. You can't always do stupid shit. You can't, you know, you gotta watch out. If there's an intersection up ahead, I mean, all it takes is someone to pull out in front of you and you can fucking die. I mean, that's it, man. Being on a motorcycle, being careless on a motorcycle, your life could get snuffed out in seconds, man. Seconds. It's not even funny. Oh, yeah. I love taking this on route, or this on ramp. Nice and slow, first gear, and just yank it. If there's no one behind me, I'm going to slow right down. There we go. First gear, yeah, crank it, rev it, slow it down, take it down to like 20. Oh, there's someone behind me. I should probably get more reasonable. Bring it up to like 40. Fuck them, piss them right off. Gotta enjoy life. There's a time and a place. There's a fucking expressway. Go fast. I was just getting on and off, so yeah, have fun. So I didn't even consider what I did speeding. Most people go fucking faster than what I was going on a daily basis. Like most people, it's like normal. There's that acceptable level of speeding. Anyway, guys, if you watch through all this, cheers, man. Fucking cheers. You know, the typical YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me I'm an asshole. Tell me what you think, man. Suggest a bike. What was your first bike? You know, let's have a discussion about this. Maybe we'll get some comments. You know, what was your first bike? What did you like it? Would you recommend it? Would you try something else? Did you have a bike after that you liked better? Do you ride big bikes? Would you consider a small CC bike? Like, I'm totally looking at getting a Grom or, you know, and a 300 Ninja. I think my wife wants a 300 Ninja. She really likes them. We were sitting on bikes when we were looking for, you know, I actually went to the Honda dealership to see if they had some VFRs, and they didn't. I was like, wow. But, you know, hope you enjoyed the video, and I think that's all I've got for us today. And like I said, I'm gonna warm up into this. Hopefully I'll get better. This was pure fucking winging it, man. I can talk for days, so it's not like I'm gonna run out of words, but you know, we need to I just need to get more comfortable with it, and you know, hopefully find some more routes. I don't want to be that guy that takes the same street every night. There's not too much speed bumps. Not too much variety in this city, man. Windsor, Ontario. We are not a huge metropolis or anything. But you know what? I'm going on a tour. I'm going on tour, man. I'm gonna record a lot of my my destinations. We're gonna. Oh, some of these scrape my fairings. I don't like that. you know, going on a fucking long tour with the wife. I'm gonna get footage. I probably won't be talking much. You know, I'm not looking into doing much talking at all. So, you know, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all later, and I hope you guys could see at all, because of course it's nighttime, and this is a new camera for me. Alright guys, peace.